everyone. We're doing a little bit of a different video today. This is going to be part of a series. I've gotten a lot of questions lately about more mature skin, experienced skin, older skin, whatever you want to call it. And I've decided I'm just going to do a series. And basically, I haven't decided what I'm going to call it yet. Maybe makeup and mature skin, or, you know, I don't know. I'll come up with something. But this first video, I'm just going to go through sort of the best products that I think will work on older skin. Now, the caveat to all this is that I really do believe that makeup, clothes, jewelry, all of that is for any age. I don't care if you're 20 or you're 80, wear what you want, do what you like. If it makes you happy and it's not hurting anyone else, why is it anybody's business? However, I will say that there is a difference, I'm just speaking for myself, in my skin from 22 to 52. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that as you get older, you lose collagen, you lose estrogen. If you're going through perimenopause or menopause, skin becomes more lax, and there are things that you may want to do with your makeup that will address those issues. If you don't want to do any of those things, that's fine as well, but you might find this interesting. But like I said, I've gotten a lot of questions. So I finally got to the point where I was like, all right, let's just do a series on it. So this is just going to be an overview. Future videos, I'm going to address certain things, like how to do like a wing on a heavier eyelid, that type of stuff. But if you have specific things you want me to address, put them in the comments below. I'll make sure to use them as future topics. So first you're going to notice that I have on eye masks at the moment. These are the 111 Skin. I'll make sure all this stuff is in the description box. The reason I do recommend some type of depuffing eye mask is as you get older, you'll find that your skin around your eyes, which is always very sensitive because it's thinner, shows age faster, like your neck. And some of that is just because we're not getting as much sleep. It's because, you know, when we were 20, we could go out all night, have like several Smirnoff Ices, eat at like 4 o'clock in the morning at some weird deli, and then get 3 hours of sleep and wake up and look refreshed. That is pretty hard to do at 52. So these types of products will help make you look more like you did just naturally at 22. Next thing I would say is moisturizer. As you get older, at least for me, your skin gets duller. Not everybody. Some people just look, you know, still as shiny and dewy as they did when they were 15. Not me. I would recommend a moisturizer of some kind, but I would recommend a light moisturizer, something that will sink in. Why do I say that? If you use a really heavy moisturizer and your skin is dehydrated, which it often is when we're really busy running around doing 17 different jobs, especially during the holidays, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're taking care of the kids, you're trying to, you know, get ready, and you're exhausted and you're going through perimenopause. You're like, yeah, I can't do everything. So your skin, a little rant there. So your skin is probably dehydrated. There's a chance, right? If you just put moisturizer, like a heavy moisturizer on top of it, it doesn't really sink in. Again, that goes to skincare. But I would say if you take something, now this is a really good product. This is expensive, but it works. This is the Clé de Peau. In fact, a lot of the products I'm using today are Clé de Peau. They work particularly well on more mature skin. It's called the Intensive Fortifying Emulsion. Think about an emulsion when you want to think about this versus like a cream moisturizer. You see how runny it is? Something like this is going to sink into your skin very quickly. Even if your skin is dehydrated. If you've had too much alcohol, if you haven't had enough water, if you haven't had enough sleep, if you've been on a plane, all those things. Which I've had all the above except too much alcohol. This sinks into your skin. It moisturizes your skin. It does work. It is an anti-aging product as well. And it really makes your skin look healthier, dewier. If you use it over time, it's going to work as skincare, but it also works as an excellent first step in prepping your face. Another product that I would really recommend is I'm not doing skincare today, but when you do makeup, I always do some type of skin prep before I do makeup. This is the Queen of Hungry Mist. This is by, and I keep trying to pronounce this correctly, Omoravisa. Reminds me of pizza. Amore Visa. This is the mist. I use this during the day, but I also use this as like skin prep. This is like a refreshing mist for your skin. You use it during the day. It'll pep you up and make your skin a little bit more glowy, which is especially important when your skin is duller. That kind of skin prep makes the difference between your foundation looking patchy or settling in the lines or looking dry and dull and not. It really can make all the difference if you just spend a little time on skincare. I would say as an older person, I would rather spend more time on skincare. I know it sounds weird coming from a former makeup artist, but I would spend more time on skincare than I would on the actual makeup. Do less makeup and do more skincare. If you don't have a good palette, whatever you put on it is not going to please you. And that, I mean, again, that's just my take, but I found that to be true for myself. Wear less makeup and do more skin prep. Really, you'll be happier with the results. Next, some type of lip balm. My lips are ridiculously dry. This is the By Terry. It's one of my favorites. I've used it for a very long time. Amore Visa is actually sending me their lip balm. I'm going to try theirs. Remedy has an excellent one as well. But it's important because as you're putting your makeup on, you can do your lips last. Get your lips as moisturized as you can so that when you put a lipstick on, it looks as good as it can. Again, you're losing estrogen, you're losing collagen. Even if you're not losing estrogen, well, everyone's losing estrogen. Doesn't matter. You're going to lose it as you get older. Anyone. Now, for those of you out there who say, well, I have really oily skin, I'd still put something to moisturize your lips. And again, I can do a whole video on oily skin. If you do have oily skin, again, something like the mist is really good. And something like the Clé de Peau emulsion will work for you. Just make sure you get one that's oil-free. Okay, so foundation. Less is more. Less is way more. The older you get, your skin can crepey, dry, dull. It can get oily, like super oily in certain spots, like all of those things. Using less makeup is actually far better for your overall look. It sounds like it doesn't make sense because you're like, well, my skin doesn't look as good as it did when you were 22. That's not true. Your skin probably looks fantastic. It just looks older. There are tricks to making your skin look brighter and, younger without putting on a ton of makeup. In fact, putting on a ton of makeup in general, again, you do you, whatever you like. But if you want to have a face that looks as fresh and young and dewy, this is my tip to you. So Clé de Peau has two foundations that I would absolutely recommend. There's actually three that I love, but the third one is incredibly expensive. So we're going to leave that off today. I'll put it in the description box below. Okay, so one is the Radiant Cream Foundation. This has an SPF of 25. I wear B10. This is a heavier foundation. It's not heavy, but it's a cream foundation. So if you're somebody out there who wants more coverage and you feel like you need something that's a little bit creamier, this is the one I would go with. I would put this on, take this like amount, put it here, and then blend it in. Do not use too much. Again, use too little. Use less than you think you need. And then if you need to go in and spot, then do that. I promise you, you'll feel like it looks better. But my favorite foundation from Clé de Peau is their Cushion Foundation. Now, their Cushion Foundation, the thing about Cushion Foundations is, yeah, they're a little messy. I'm not going to lie. This one looks like I was like a 5-year-old, but I think they look tremendous on everyone, but especially people who have older skin. Okay, so you take the little sponge, ta-da. One tip I would say about foundation, no matter what foundation you use, if you press it in, press like that, you're gonna get a better look. My favorite brush is the Anisa triangle brush. This is the Pinnacle brush. The way I use this, just like I would have with the cushion, I just press all over the face. Press it into your skin. You'll find that it's gonna look like there's less lines. It's gonna look more seamless. The Anisa brush, I think, works miracles. Absolutely love that brush. So highlighter and blush. Highlighter is a tricky one when you get older. You do have more texture. You just do. If you are not bothered by the texture and you absolutely love showing off your texture, fantastic. Don't worry about it. But if it's something that bothers you, what I'd say about highlighter is you need to look for something that has luminosity in it not sparkle or glitter. Highlighter in general is going to draw your attention to that area of your face. That's why it's called a highlighter. Think about when you were a kid and you had that yellow pen, right, on your paper. I know kids don't use that stuff anymore, but it's all on computer. But my point is, it's a highlighter. So it's going to draw attention to the high points of your face. That's why you use it. There's always going to be some texture on your face. We're human, that's just natural. But if you pick something that is a smoother, more luminous look to it, you're going to be, I believe, happier. Also, if you pick something that has like a peachy pink, that is generally flattering for most people. Not everyone, but for most people. If white is going to be more, right? It's just, you're gonna see the white in comparison. It's gonna contrast more because it's brighter. So, or yellow. So if you use something that has like a peachy pink and is smooth and more luminous and not particularly pigmented, that's gonna work for you. The new Hermes one that came out for the holidays, that one is excellent. I don't have it at the moment, it's in a box, long story. The Dolce & Gabbana, this one is really good. This one has more of a peach, I'd say, than the Hermes, but it's close. This is the Chantecaille. This is the Lotus highlighter. Chantecaille also does products that I think look excellent on more mature skin. This one has more of that. So here's the Dolce & Gabbana. Here's the Chantecaille. And then my favorite is one you cannot buy anymore. This is the Chanel Camellia, and this was a limited edition shade. This is very similar to the Hermes, so if you didn't buy this, the Hermes is the way to go. But this one is very soft and actually quite beautiful. It's very luminous. You can see though that all of these are like a peachy pink shade, which is more flattering because it generally mimics your skin tone. If you have a deeper skin tone, pick something that has a little bit more pigment in it, a little bit closer to your skin tone, so that it's mimicking your skin tone. It doesn't have to be, it's not gonna be exact, of course, because you're highlighting, but you want something that's, you know, not gonna be as contrasting. Use a fluffy brush because fluffy brush will just diffuse it more. And I would suggest keeping it on the high point of the cheekbone, not too close to the eye. Because, again, as you get older, you're gonna have lines by your eyes. If you put it right here, you're just gonna accentuate those lines. Again, if you don't mind that, that's cool. But if you're trying to distract from the lines, don't highlight them. A little bit on your nose like this will lengthen the nose. It's basically drawing it up and down. If you want to widen a part of your nose, do the same thing with the highlighter. All highlighter does is point your eye like this, or like this, or like this. A contour will push things back, a highlighter brings them out. This is an overall video. I will have specific requests, put them in the comments below, coming. I would really suggest a cream blush. This is, again, Clé de Peau. These sell out all the time. The Chanel ones are also excellent. The cream to powder, I will make sure they're below. But as I'm filming this video, I will tell you, Clé de Peau is having a huge sale. I know Chantecaille is having a huge sale. I'll make sure all the links are below for the products that I think you might be interested in. Amora Vitza is having a huge sale. Yes, we are around Black Friday, so. I do take a little bit of blush and kind of put it on the nose. One of the reasons I do that, and I do get that question a lot, is it kind of mimics a flush of a younger person. When you're a kid, especially, if you go outside or you're running around, you kind of get a flush here all the way over. And you'll see people on TikTok do that. And I say TikTok because it tends to be more on TikTok than I see it in other places. It's a blush that goes like this. Okay, so it's like a W almost, or upside down M, whatever you want to call it. The problem with that, if you're doing that as an older person, if you get it under your eyes and you already have a crepey under eye or lines under your eyes or bags under your eyes, the pink under your eye can be helpful in some cases or hurtful in other cases. It depends on your trouble area. So I would not recommend it across the board. If you have questions, again, put them down below or DM me and I'll answer them in future videos. Okay, so bronzer. So for bronzer or contour, this is, again, these are just my suggestions. Do with them as you will. Don't over contour your face. I would suggest not over contouring your face to anyone, but especially if we're talking today about what to do with more mature, I hate the term mature skin, but that's what people recognize, like for this video to get to the audience that is interested in it and who have asked me all these questions, I'm titling it that way so people will actually get the video. If I say something else, they'll be like, I don't know what experienced skin is. If we could just say older skin, that'd be great. So if you over contour your face, it's going to look harsh. And it really, in my opinion, doesn't look great on anyone. Again, that's just my opinion. But I especially don't think it looks good on skin that is not as taut, that is maybe like mine has, you know, a little bit more crepiness to it, a little more dullness to it. It's not as smooth as it once was. I feel like contouring is just, again, over makeup. So I use the Terra Bronzer by Tom Ford. I think it's one of the best out there for people who have pale to light skin. There are others that I think work much better for a deeper skin tone. And again, I'll have videos on all that. But what I would say is use this type of bronzer, which is cool bronzer, to bronzer, which basically means that the bronzer is cool enough that you can use it for both things. So what you're going to do is you're going to basically outline your face so that the part of your face that's in highlight is this. So you're going to put a little bit to make this a triangle up here. You're going to use a little bit, not a lot, to sort of contour your cheek. Look at those cheekbones, right? Make sure that you don't go this way, go up. I use a little bit to contour my nose because I like my nose to be just a little bit thinner, but not a lot. Take the brush, brush it onto your eyelid very broadly so that warms up that part of your face. And then I make sure if my ears are going to show that I put a little bit on my ears and just dust here to get a firmer looking neckline. Don't go crazy with it. Don't overdo it. You don't need to. It's really, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So those are some like basic steps that I would go through. Brows. Use a simple brow product. Don't overline your brows, but don't forget your brows. If you forget your brows, honestly, it ages your face so much. When you're younger, you have more brow hair. It just is. It's the truth. As you get older, especially if you lose certain hormones, you will start to see your brows like disappear on you. And if you have a thyroid condition, that's even worse. And then, of course, if you over-tweezed in the 90s or the 80s, yeah, that's on top of it. So make sure you do your brows. I have a bunch of brow products that I use. Again, if we're going to do that, that'll be a separate video. All right, let's go over eyes really quickly. So the first advice that I can give you is to use the Clé de Peau eyeshadows. Now, I know some people are going to give me flack for this because they are very expensive. And I've heard some people say that they don't see the difference. And maybe they don't. Maybe their eyes are just far better than mine. It's entirely possible. But I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I have 6 of these. And yes, I bought them all myself. This is the holiday one that just came out. First of all, the packaging is amazing. Second of all, they are refillable. So this comes out and you can use, you know, any packaging for any refill. And what I would say to you about the Clé de Peau that make them so special is 2 things. One, there's a primer in every quad that allows you to put on a shade that is very light that you put all over your lid if you want the other shades to go on top of it. You can just use that by itself. It is a cream to powder. I've never felt anything quite like it. You know, even I've never felt anything quite like it. You use your finger is the easiest way to do it. They also have single shades that are made up of this type of formula, but I believe they are only available overseas. I'm in the United States. If you're overseas, you can get them. If you're not, if you're just in the US, you'd have to get them from overseas. I have them in every shade and I absolutely love them. They are a perfect one and done product. Again, I'll link to them where I can, but in the US, I don't believe they are currently available. So you can see what it did. It set down a primer and it's gonna set, but it does have shade to it. So if you're just done, if you're one and done kind of person, just use the primer. You don't really need more than that. The whole thing about that I said in the beginning about less is more, it really is true. As your eyes get heavier, the lids get heavier, as the skin gets crepey, and you lose laxicity, you need to recognize what works for you. You need to feel like you're happy with your look. So again, less is more. I'll go into a very detailed eye look video, but this is just an overview one. So keep the color simple. That's all I would say. I'm gonna use just 2 shades, this one and this one today, so you can see what I mean. I'm gonna take the lightest shade, put it all over the eye with a very fluffy brush. So I'm keeping the look very monochromatic and very light. I'm putting it up into the brow bone, but not up into the brow. I kept the primer up there, and that's all you need in your brow area. Don't do too much in your brow area. Again, these are just my recommendations, but it weighs down your face. So then I'm gonna take the shade, which is the next deepest shade. I'm not using the deepest shade today. What I would say for a more mature eye, if you are using a very dark shade, use it as outer liner or use it just in the outer part of your eye. Don't use too much deep dark shades on your lid unless you're looking for that particular look, because it will weigh down your eyes and your face. So you can see I'm just taking this a little bit deeper shade. I'm putting it up further than where the actual crease is, because again, as you age, that part of your skin starts to come down a little bit, and so it can make your eye look heavier than it is, which does age you. If you're going to use a liner, and you're not going to just use powder, powder's a great way to go. Like, use the deepest shade in there and just use the powder. But if you want a liner and you don't want something to transfer, I suggest the Chanel waterproof liners, and I suggest the new Tom Ford gel liners. They're absolutely fantastic. They don't go anywhere. The Chantecaille liners are also amazing. They won't transfer on you, but they glide on very easily. This is what the Chanel waterproof liners look like. They are my favorite. This is a discontinued color, but the idea is to not use black. Now, you can use black, but the thing I'd say, if you use black, don't line your entire eye with it, because it's gonna close down your eye. And if the skin on your lid is also coming down, it's just gonna make your face look, it's gonna weigh down your face. The blue I like because it's a very deep blue, so find a very deep blue color. It's gonna make your eyes look whiter, but it's also dark enough that you're gonna get a contrast. So what I do, especially when I'm doing someone who has a little bit of a heavier lid, is I just concentrate on the outer part of the eye, like that. I just do a V on the outer part. What that does is it draws your attention to the outer part of your eye. It puts your focus this way instead of this way. And then you can just go in, and if you could tight line the rest of your eye, just under your lashes. And if this really bothers you, then just don't do it, which is fine. Don't worry about it. Nobody's gonna see it. Okay, now if you want, again, I'm gonna have a detailed video, but if you want a wing, what you wanna do is draw the edge of your lash to your eyebrow, and that's how the wing goes. The wing does not go like this, it goes like this. If, for example, though, you have a really heavy lid, I'll show you how to do that in a future video. But for now, just draw a line from your lower lash line, basically, to your eyebrow end, and you'll see that that will probably work. Now make it very tiny. Doesn't need to be a big wing. It's a tiny little wing. It's a mini wing, and you're done. That's all you need to do. Don't overthink it. Don't overdo it. Okay. Next, which is a very important step in my opinion, curl your lashes if your lashes don't curl, because it's going to lift your eye up. Sweet mascara is one of the best on the market. Sarah Creel also has an excellent one. Find a tubing mascara if you have problems with under eye smudging. Focus the mascara on the outer corners of your eye, same on the bottom. If you go all the way across and you have heavier lids, you're gonna find it's not as pleasant to look at. You might find that it actually makes your eye look less, it's gonna be less flatter. Again, do whatever you like, but when you concentrate more on the outer lash like this, so you start on the outer lash and get to the base of the lash as much as you can. So kind of hit your, you know, almost your lash line. If you concentrate the mascara out here, and I'm not going to put any on the inner corner for a moment. Do you see how that kind of lifts the eye? See how this looks more like this and this looks lifted? That's going to help lift your face. So when you go to the inner corner, just do it lightly so that actually the outer corner looks like you have like almost like falsies on the outer part of your lash. Can you see how that looks more lifted than this? I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Now this tip isn't only for, you know, somebody who's older. You can do this if you're younger as well, if you want just more of a, you know, a lifted, almost like cat eye look. Same on the bottom, just concentrate on the outer corner here, and then either skip the inner corner altogether, depending on what you want to do, or just lightly run across your lashes so that the focus is on the outer corner. That's it. Now you can see what a big difference the mascara makes. It makes you look, you know, it makes your eyes look bigger, brighter. It can actually change the shape of your eye depending on how you do it. Lipstick. I would strongly recommend the Tom Ford lip liners. Tom Ford, I know, has been hit or miss with a lot of their makeup lately, but their new lip liners are fantastic. They go on like a gel, they're super smooth, they won't drag on your skin, and then they set. This is Reese. It's a great shade if you just want something basic. It's gonna kind of blend. If you have a deeper skin tone, obviously there'll be more of a contrast, but it's pretty simple. And while we're doing this, I wanna mention, I am wearing, and no one's paying me for this, I am wearing, you always have to say that these days, these are Ideal earrings. As an older person, your earlobes also get longer and the holes kind of start to pull. And I can no longer wear like super heavy earrings. I can for short periods of time, but not for, you know, like not all day. These are incredibly comfortable and also just very elegant. They are lab created diamonds. They are absolutely stunning. You cannot tell the difference because they're exactly the same components as a mine diamond. And there's and the functionality of these are great because you can actually interchange them with different pieces. There's a stud in here, and then there's like the piece that's like a little bit more complicated that you plug the stud into. So they're having their best sale right now, which is why I wanted to mention it. It's 20% off. Rarely do they have those types of sales, so I wanted to mention it while I was doing this because it's one of those things that you don't really think about, but then I realized, like when I was younger, I had all this really big chunky jewelry and I can't wear it because it hurts. It hurts my ears. It is what it is, guys. All right, so lipstick. This is the Clé de Peau lipstick. This is the holiday one. I really like this color. One of the things that you want to keep in mind if you are dealing with a little bit of dullness, a little bit of, you know, more mature skin, especially if your hair is gray or white. If that's the case, one of the things that you can do to really liven up your face is a bright lipstick. Keep the rest of your makeup pretty monochromatic, but the lipstick being bright, it really does make a difference. It makes your face look more alive. And I love a good brownie pink lipstick and I wear them all the time, but I will tell you that I get the most compliments when I wear something that has like a coral tone to it, to my lips, because it does. It does. It makes me look younger. Ta-da! The Clé de Peau lipsticks are excellent. They don't bleed. They go on really smoothly and they're really easy to wear. Sarah Creel also has one that's excellent, and I have a few others that I can talk about. What I would say about, you know, more mature skin is you probably have more lines around your lips. Stay away from a very thin formula. A very thin formula is going to bleed. If you use the Tom Ford liners, you're going to have a heck of a lot less than that, but I can't guarantee you won't have any. It depends on what your lines are like. And hair is also a part of all of this, and I can have a video about what I've been doing for my hair because I've mentioned in videos that I did start losing some of my hair. It's become thinner and stuff because of perimenopause and there are things that I've been doing to make it look fuller and grow back some of the hair. So I can do a video on that as well. None of these tips and tricks are solely for people who are older. Anyone can use these things. I have been getting so many questions that I can't answer individually. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do this series. This is a very long video and I've tried to make it as brief as possible, but this is the overview video. In the future will have very short videos, or I will try to even do reels if I can, to keep it quick and easy for you guys to see, like how do you do a wing on a heavy eyelid? How do you, all those things. Put down in the comments below what you want to see and I'll focus on those for these types of videos, and I'll just do them, on a regular basis. I don't believe that looking your age is a bad thing. I think aging is a beautiful process, and I am honestly happier now at 52 than I've ever been in my life. However, I don't think there's anything wrong with deciding that you want to look as good as you possibly can for your age. I don't intend to look 22. In fact, I don't really want to look 22. In some ways, I feel like I look better now than I did then. But I do take steps to keep my skin in the best condition I can. And I do makeup tricks to make my skin look more refreshed and more, dewy. I do those things. You don't have to. Again, the whole joy of all of this is you can age in any way you want to, and you should get to choose. But these are just tips and tricks in case these things are of interest to you. It's fun to play with makeup. It's fun to reinvent yourself every day if that's what you want to do. So again, put those questions, comments, what you want to see in the future series videos down below. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in another video really soon.